but they did that 48 hours after a tough home loss against Syracuse. Terrific display of fight and fortitude that Nell Fortner's team will try to emulate tonight as the Yellow Jackets win the tap. And we are underway. This is a Georgia Tech team found that in spite of its 4-5 ACC record, Nell Fortner says this may be the best shooting team that she's had at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, she hadn't had scoring power like this. And, you know, they have a roster where they don't go deep. They got shooters all day, huh?
Rusna Augusta-Naita, the true freshman, one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the ACC with the bucket to put the Jackets ahead as we take a look at the Notre Dame starting five. And they did the yeoman's work at UConn, none more so than Hannah Hidalgo, 34 points that topped her previous high, which she set in her last game versus Syracuse. And she, as you know, Haley, is a fun one to watch as the foul drawn underneath by Kylee Watson, and she will head to the line. You've seen Hannah Hidalgo throughout her freshman season. What makes her such a talent?
I mean, I think she really just does it all out there on the court. For her to be a freshman and running this Notre Dame team like she is, it's really unheard of. I mean, Olivia Miles is out and she stepped up to the plate and done everything and more for this Notre Dame team. So she's a firecracker and she's really exciting to watch.
Watson rims in the first free throw. Kylee Watson scoreless against UConn. She wasn't the only one. Notre Dame beat UConn by 17 with only 4 players accounting for those 82 points. A 2-for-2 trip for Watson and his 3-2 Yellow Jackets as we take a look at the Georgia Tech five. And you notice that Kayla Blackshear is back in the lineup. A steal by Hidalgo as she shoots the gap on Morgan, lays it in. Get used to that. A lot of teams have. Hannah Hidalgo, who had her first game all season without a steal, the nation's leader in that category, gets the steal and the bucket.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of that all night, and Toni Morgan is going to have to be intentional about protecting that basketball. She can't have those type of turnovers in the open court.
This makes it constantly skittish, Haley, knowing that there's Hannah Hidalgo lurking around the perimeter.
You got to be on edge all the time. There's no relaxing with her out there on the court.
Morgan draws 2, pitches out Augusta-Naita for another 3. A heavy rebound Citron for the Irish. Notre Dame, the ACC leaders in points and field goal percentage, and they're averaging a higher percentage from the field on the road this year than at home, and 2 more for Watson to make it 6-3 Irish.
Yeah, no, Westbell got that one. She just drove to the lane. It was no defender from Georgia Tech surrounding her, and that's too easy. Got to have better paint protection.
Maddie Westbeld with arguably her most complete game of the season against UConn. Played all 40 minutes, got 22 points, 5 rebounds, and the rebound chased down by Blackshear. That is what Kayla Blackshear does. Terrific offensive rebounder for her size.
She is, and they were missing that against FSU on Sunday.
Offensive rebound Dunn. There's the stick in by Kara Dunn. She can do it from outside and in, Haley.
Yeah, you can't let Georgia Tech get more than 1 offensive rebound in a possession. That's just unheard of. They've got 2 threes and 2 0 boards. They're going to get a score.
On a team leading 15.7 points per game, had 19 in the loss to Florida State. That 3 horseshoes off. The rebound Noeto for the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech is at its best when it's pushing the pace, and Blackshear rim to rim gets the lay-in.
And that's a great pass by Augusta-Naita. She saw Blackshear running. You got to reward your post when they're running the floor like that.
Nothing better, as you know, Haley, than going rim to rim and getting rewarded for it, right?
Oh, it's the best. If you don't get rewarded, you're not going to run as hard the next few possessions.
That's a blocking foul. Score it and 1. Augusta-Naita might have been inside the restricted area on that pick and roll dive. Kylee Watson with a chance for 3 the hard way.
Yeah, and you see right here on this nice pass, good roll, and Watson just goes strong. Augusta-Naita is in the restricted area, like we said, and Watson's able to draw the foul, going to the free throw line for 2 shots, and 1. She hit that layup.
Well, Nell Fortner knows a team's backcourt is sometimes only as potent as its front court. And there are a lot of really smooth, skilled operators down low for Niele Ivey and this Notre Dame team.
Well, you know they're going to pass, averaging around 17 assists per game. That is an incredible stat line, and that just shows that they share the basketball. They only go 7 deep, but they're going to look for each other, set each other up, and that's why they're leading the ACC in scoring.
That's one thing that I know, Haley, jumps out when you watch Notre Dame, their cohesion. And even Niel told us in shoot-around, they're not all the way there yet as far as their chemistry because of the injuries, but she felt like in that UConn game, that was the first time where they really played a cohesive 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame is definitely going to be one of those teams that continues to figure out and put the pieces together as the season goes on, which is really what you want. You want to start to peak in February, March, because this is when it really starts to matter.
An aggressive start early for Kylee Blackshear, ties us at 9. Citron working on Termis. The step in and the lay-in.
Yeah, Watson is getting some work down low early in this game. She is really giving Notre Dame a post presence.
Foul, by the way, was on Augusta Naita. Augusta Naita with a quick second foul. Steal by Hidalgo. Pick Noeto's pocket. Did he finish on the other end? Yes.
Man.
2 steals leading to 2 breakaway layups for Hannah Hidalgo. Dunn attacking the other way. Got smothered by Watson and saved by Notre Dame. And a steal up court. Deflection was from Noeto. Noeto for 3. Can't cash in. Rebound cleared by Watson.
Yeah, you have to protect that basketball if you're around Hannah Hidalgo. Her hands are so quick. She will pick your pocket.
Quick hands, great vision there on the slip to Watson.
Yeah, and she can throw some dimes too. So.
After not scoring last game, Kylee Watson is really being more aggressive trying to get her shot off today.
Her best game all year was 11 points, 8 rebounds against Boston College. Setting the brisk pace early for the Irish, who lead by 6. Noeto tight rope and tries to thread the needle, deflected. 3-on-1. Oh, a great dime over the shoulder to Hidalgo, and she lays it in. That pass was from Anna DeWolf.
Right now, you just see Notre Dame getting easy buckets in transition off of either turnovers or Georgia Tech just not getting back after a missed shot.
Notre Dame is not just Hidalgo. They're 13th in the nation in steals as a team. Another 3 off the mark from Morgan. DeWolf builds a head of steam on Noeto, blows right by her and scoops it no. That is something, Haley, that Georgia Tech needs to kind of gear down the tempo here because the pace certainly favoring the Irish early.
Oh, for sure. They're a 3-point team, but they have to understand Irish love to play in transition. So with every long shot is a long rebound leading them right into it.
Oftentimes, a long carom is the first pass.
Exactly.
In another team's fast break. Termis, 6'6". She can stroke the 3, misses. Noeto cleans it up. Shot clock does not reset. Noeto has to hurry. Catches rim, but short.
And Georgia Tech looks like they're playing very rushed. Notre Dame's doing a great job of forcing them to take shots in a hurry rather than running something in their offense.
Blackshear got the box out. Tech trying to snap a 3-minute scoring drought. Won't come from that 3 by Dunn. The Wolf with a hezzy. Bounces away, Citron, terrific from 3, bangs it down. Sonia Citron, she is an inside-out presence, Haley, for the Irish.
She sure is. She sure is. She can knock it from outside. She can back you down. She's a really long wing, so she creates a lot of different mismatches. But Notre Dame is just pushing the pace right now, and Georgia Tech is not keeping up.
Out and running again. How about a stop and pop for Citron? Not that time. Irish on an 11-0 run. Jackets, meanwhile, have missed their last 7. Noeto drops it down, out to Termis. Termis rims out the mid-range jumper.
Even though they didn't score on that possession, that was a solid possession for Georgia Tech in the zone. That was a good shot.
Now Westbell's turn to let it fly.
We saw a lot of that at shoot-around earlier today.
We sure did.
Maddie Westbell, 36% from 3 this year, makes it 23-9 Irish, and Nell Fortner does not want to wait any longer for the under 5 timeout. A 14-0 Notre Dame run. And Notre Dame just seeming to impose its will here in the last 4 minutes, Haley. What can Georgia Tech do to be more fluid on the offensive end?
I think Georgia Tech needs to work on not getting rushed. I think that they're letting their offense really be dictated by the Notre Dame defense right now. And they're relying a lot on their outside shot. I think what was working for them was getting into the paint, making tough finishes down there. So get back to some bread and butter inside.
That last play was certainly not what Nell Fortner had designed in the huddle. Deflection leading into another bucket.
No, she definitely wasn't. And off of the 4 turnovers that Georgia Tech's had this far, Notre Dame scored 8 points. So they're capitalizing off of those turnovers.
Meanwhile, Georgia Tech 1 of 10 from 3 in this first quarter as Hidalgo steps into the 3. Boarded long by Bransford. Oh, but was that caught in the backcourt? It was. A rare kick out, over and back violation
that is
on the Irish. But you look at the box score, Georgia Tech has attempted 16 shots found, and 10 of them have been from three-point range. They're not getting a lot of quality touches inside the paint.
They aren't, because they haven't been intentional to set up and run their offense. And you got to applaud Notre Dame for that, because they've been rushing Georgia Tech and forcing them to take these threes.
Blackshear dishes to Thomas Harris, splits 2, got fouled. Looks like Westbeld caught her on the way up. And the freshman Deasia Thomas Harris will shoot a pair with a chance to stop a now 16-0 Notre Dame run.
Yeah, but that was an aggressive move by the freshman. We don't see Thomas Harris too often, but we know she's capable of scoring points and rebounding the basketball for Georgia Tech when she gets good quality minutes.
And you know, Haley, that's textbook trying to break down and pick the locks of a 2-3 zone, go high post to short corner, and that's when you start to create the angles for yourself.
Oh, for sure. Getting into the high post is kryptonite to any type of zone. So I think as long as they can get it in there, that's where they're going to start to get better shots for themselves.
Harris misses Ayers on both free throws, though. Quickly the other way, Bransford goes to work on Noeto. In front of the rim, misses. Rebound cleared by the Jackets. Good wall up underneath by the Yellow Jackets. Sydney Johnson, the Boston University transfer, in at the point. Blackshear, very good technician from that elbow. Aguero tight ropes the baseline, finds Dunn. You figured Citron would have the matchup on her. Forces a tough shot, out of bounds. It stays with Georgia Tech. Just 7 to shoot, but that comes as a surprise to no one that Neil Ivey would spring it, Sonia Citron on Kara Dunn.
Oh, for sure. Citron's going to always have the best player, but I think she's really given her some rest by switching up man-to-man defense, and then they're going to a zone. So it's hard for Georgia Tech to keep up with what offense to be running when they're already moving with such pace right now.
Yeah, that's true. When you switch up defenses like that, it's tough to read. You got to pay attention, especially your point guard, to read those defenses to know what you need to set up.
Tony Morgan subs back in. Johnson across. Morgan, no good. Good passing, but with the shot clock winding down, Morgan wasn't able to convert. Inside of a minute, first quarter. The drive and dish. And the 3, good again. Citron again.
You got to locate her. You can't have her wide open anywhere taking shots, because she was lighting it up and shoot around earlier, and she's a capable three-point shooter.
He's tied for second in the ACC in made threes per game in conference play, coming off 15 and 6 rebounds in the win over UConn. Notre Dame in that game had to claw back from a 12-point first-half deficit, but they are putting the hammer down on the Yellow Jackets here in the first quarter. Morgan trapped in the baseline, and it's stuffed out of bounds. It stays with Tech. Probably the best outcome for the Yellow Jackets there, but Georgia Tech staring at a scoring drought of over 6 minutes right now.
Yeah, it's that zone, and the rotation that the Irish have, they've been incredible in this first half in rotating, and their post players are right in position, ready to double team as soon as someone penetrates and tries to get to the lane.
Shot clock at 5. Morgan jacks the 3. Scramble for it, won by Blackshear, 8 seconds to go. Snapped around to Johnson, oh, wasn't ready for it, and a turnover. I think that was another example there of Georgia Tech just getting a little too rushed. And it cost Nell Fortner a potential quarter-ending possession.
Yeah, and single digits being held, 9 points for the Jackets in this first quarter.
Citron with the cross, got swatted. Johnson was all over it, but it was all Irish in the opening 10 minutes as Notre Dame closes the first quarter on a 19-0 run. We asked Nell her recollections of Niall as a point guard for her on that first Indiana Fever team back in 2001. So just very steady, good leader, very professional. As DeWolf gets the bounce off the front iron and down. I'm sure everybody remembers their first professional head coach, Haley.
Oh, sure do. Coach Wright, she is one to remember. She's one of the best in the business. I love playing for her.
And Tanisha Wright, longtime WNBA veteran. The shovel, Blackshear doubled with the left hand, and the iron unkind for Blackshear.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Morgan, but two defenders right there ready for Blackshear after she caught that one.
Yeah, that's one of the best looks that they've had in quite a while.
You noticed in that first quarter, Haley, that Georgia Tech was running into the trap against the 2-3 zone of driving baseline, and that's never a good idea against a 2-3.
Yeah, driving baseline is what the 2-3 zone wants you to do. It's a trap that many people fall into, and I think that's how they're rushing themselves. They're picking it up under the baseline. There's not a lot of options out of there.
Hidalgo punches it out of the handle of Augusta Knight, who's back on with 2 fouls. I think they need Augusta Knight's floor stretching, Fallon.
They do. If she can knock down some threes right now, 1 of 11 from behind the arc. Not a good stat line for Georgia Tech, but if they can knock down a couple, maybe they can get back in this game.
Well, that three-pointer was on the first attempt from deep of the game for Georgia Tech. Another short-range shot spills off. The Yellow Jackets have missed 10 straight from deep and still trying to climb out of what is now a 23-0 run. The stop and go Hidalgo too smooth.
These guards, I mean, between Hidalgo and DeWolf, both of them very quick, can handle the rock, and it's like they're just taking opportunities to just drive it to the rim.
Drop-off pass from Morgan to Blackshear, and a foul called on the Irish. Take a look at that last one from Hidalgo. 4th in the nation in scoring for a reason, Haley.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard guarding her off an on-ball screen. I think they're trying a lot of different schemes to contain her, but it's difficult. When you get a post player in front of you, hit him with a stop and go, there's not much that can be done to stop it.
Quick inbound, Termes wasn't ready for it. Rescued by Augusta Knight. Off the mark, and a loose ball foul. It'll stay on this end. Morgan battling down low. Tag the foul on Kylee Watson. And Hidalgo, meanwhile, up to 10 first half points. At her career high 34 against UConn. Dropped in 10 rebounds, 6 assists for good measure. The one thing missing, though, from her stat line against the Huskies, she did not have a steal.
Yeah, that was probably crazy for her. Her first game without a steal all season long. I mean, leading the nation in steals as a freshman is insane. At 5 a game, who's doing that?
That's a lot.
Center season average plummeting to 5.1 steals a game.
Just absurd.
Had a couple of steps in that first half as Augusta Knight airballs the 3. Handed to Wolf, the Fordham transfer. Backing down on Dunn. Good challenge from the backside by Blackshear, rebounded by the Jackets. This is a Georgia Tech defense, and I know the numbers may not support that tonight, Fallon, but they're a team that can switch 1 through 5. They've got a lot of good multi-positional defenders.
They can, and with the size, you know, they're playing a little bit more small ball besides Termes, but they can play switch on, you know, players on defense and defend from anywhere in any position.
Termes went straight up, challenging Hidalgo. No whistle. Notre Dame to retain. Brianna Termes, the 6'6 freshman from Spain. Now Watson, she had the hot hand in the first quarter. Off to Citron. The rebound wrestled away by DeWolf.
Wow, probably the smallest player on the court when he's got that one.
Anna DeWolf, who is a 4-year starter, now a 2,000-point career scorer between her time in South Bend and Fordham. She was scoreless in that win over UConn, and we were joking before the game. That was the first scoreless game of her entire college career, 130 games.
No, that's pretty incredible. And I'm seeing how she can score the basketball. Yeah. She's pretty crafty, can handle the rock, and is fearless going in the paint.
That offensive rebound to reload the possession, which results in the Hidalgo free throws. The foul is on Kara Dunn. And Hidalgo, an 80% free throw shooter. 9-time ACC Rookie of the Week for the native of Haddonfield, New Jersey, trying to tie Tania Latson's ACC record for most single-season ACC Rookie of the Week awards.
Man, I wonder who is going to win that award this season, right?
I thought they were going to rename it for Tania Latson last year, and they may have to rename it for Hannah Hidalgo this year.
Well, I think you're just seeing like the growth of women's basketball or college basketball, the talent year in, year out. It keeps getting better, and you know, from the likes of a Tania Latson and now seeing Hannah Hidalgo is just showing how incredible the ACC is.
Jackets still off the mark from 3, makes him 1 of 12, and now 0 of 5 from the field in the second quarter. Jackets have gone more than 10 minutes of game time without a point. Watson bulldozing her way through, can't connect.
Yeah, they have to make something happen.
Georgia Tech's got to find their way into an easy basket. Every shot they've taken has been contested.
And there finally the drought ends with Toni Morgan.
Right on time.
And she's the one that can do it. I mean, she can go get a bucket. She just has to be a little poised and intentional about being aggressive offensively.
Look, when a WNBA all-rookie player says you need to get an easy bucket, you obey. And Toni Morgan did just that. And this is what Toni Morgan can do, Fallon. She can be a one-woman fast break and having to extend over the challenge of the 6'4" Kylee Watson.
Yeah, no, she is capable of doing that. You know, I think the key has been times when she penetrates, finding teammates, and knowing when to score. But they're going to need some scoring from her tonight if they want to cut into this lead that Notre Dame has.
Run out rebound for the Irish. Toni Morgan, one of 2 players in the ACC to rank in the top 16 in both rebounds and assists per game. The other is Hannah Hidalgo. That is pretty elite company. 2 totally different guards, as you know, but it just shows, Haley, the value that Toni Morgan brings to Nell Fortner's backcourt.
Yeah, I think the value goes beyond her skill set. I mean, watching the game right now, you can see her being so vocal, encouraging her team, really being an emotional leader out there. So I think she brings offense, she brings running it. She just brings so much to her team beyond the stat sheet that I think Nell can see.
Nell even told us at shoot-around, she's 4th in the ACC in assists, but she'd love for her to be even more of a distributor. As Won Adanaz bumped Hidalgo to the deck. Foul called on the Yellow Jackets, Aisha Won Adanaz. But to that point, she sees Toni Morgan consistently breaking down defenses and drawing 2 and 3 defenders. She no longer has to try to finish everything with the bucket. She can pass out with the shooting prowess that Nell has accumulated this year, and that's part of the next step in Toni Morgan's development.
Oh, for sure. I think as a point guard, it's hard when, you may be thinking score first, and then you're thinking pass first, and then at some point, as you get older, you have to put the 2 together, understanding when it's your opportunity to take over the game and when it's time to distribute and get your teammates involved.
Successful free throw trip by Hidalgo. She's up to 13 first half points as Noeto subs in, replacing Augusta Naita. The Irish finished that first quarter on a 19-0 run.
And they're still staying in this zone because Georgia Tech has not figured it out.
It's not broke, don't fix it. Pass hit the underside of the backboard. There's that baseline drive you were talking about. Toni Morgan was caught in no man's land. Citron transition 3 off the mark. Rebound ripped away by Blackshear. Morgan got DeWolf to lead her feed. Noeto relocating to the corner. Good for 3.
And that's what Toni Morgan has to do. She had the numbers. She penetrated and kicked and found Noeto for the wide open 3, and it was a knockdown.
That's textbook transition, as you know, Haley. Get out and run. Shooters go to the corners. You're going to get the space, and Noeto drops it in. Although the answer comes from DeWolf.
Yeah, I think she needed that one to go in. She was 0 for 4 from the 3-point line before that, so seeing that one go in may get things started for Georgia Tech.
Noeto, who tied her career high, 6 made field goals in the loss to Florida State, had 13 points. Blackshear pestered by Hidalgo. Gets the step, doesn't get the roll. Dunn skies up for the rebound. She's blocked on the stick back. The kick out to Morgan, trying to bullet one inside, and it grazed off the fingertips of Citron. It stays with Georgia Tech as we've come on timeout. Sonia Citron, 6 points, 5 rebounds for the Irish. Up big on Tech.
Getting him to brush is no longer a chore. The sink.
Notre Dame, but a trailblazer now as head coach of the Fighting Irish. Her team leads by 25, 39 to 14. Georgia Tech honoring Black History Month with its special Black History Month uniforms, sporting them for the first time this season. Tell you what, Haley, Niele Ivey, all coaches are weary of the letdown after a big emotional win like the one Notre Dame enjoyed in stores on Saturday, but her team showing that veteran poise, putting those concerns to rest very early.
Oh, yeah. Neil's not going to let them bring out anything less than that same energy they brought for UConn. And now that she's seen that her team can bring that, that's now her new expectation for the rest of the season.
Swat on Noeto. That block came from Natalia Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall, she has been incredible defensively since she's been in the game. I mean, the rotations even in the zone, but that block was big time. Noeto thought she had it, and Marshall was like, nah, not today.
That is already a 6th Notre Dame block. The skip got blocked from behind, but a foul call on Westbeld. Might have caught some of the elbow of Kayla Blackshear. So Westbeld's second, team's third. Now they send Watson back in. Kylee Watson, whose first career double-double was against Georgia Tech back last year.
I was going to say that. I think she likes playing against the Jackets. She has some solid performances.
There's always that one team, Haley, you know from your Pac-12 days, just for whatever reason, you reach a different level when you face them.
There's always that team that you get hyped up for, you're excited to play, and you want to try to show out every single season.
Who was that team for you back in the day?
Oh, shoot. Honestly, every team in the Pac I was excited to play. I don't know if I have a favorite.
Chance to run for the Yellow Jackets. Noeto, the ball fake, heavy with the left hand, rebound Citron.
They got to finish at the rim, and that's something Coach Fortner talked about, the importance of finishing at the rim. Actually, both of these coaches, Coach Ivey did too, about her team finishing, and we're seeing they're finishing when they get to the rim.
When you're facing a team that's getting so many blocks, so many deflections, even when you have a clean lane and angle to the basket, it forces you to rush sometimes. And that might have been what thwarted Noeto there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think both of these teams are leaving a lot of points on the board, just missing bunnies at the rim, which I know is going to be on film for both of them to see tomorrow.
Irish had missed 9 of their last 10. That 3 down for Morgan. You can almost see a sigh of relief on the face of Toni Morgan when she stuck that 3.
Yeah, no, she definitely had a sigh of relief. But sometimes you just got to see that ball fall into the basket, and it can change your whole perspective. Hopefully this can turn something on for Georgia Tech.
Now Georgia Tech switching to a little bit of a zone look. Rebound cleared by Tech, but they throw away the outlet.
And you can't have those unforced turnovers. Those are so costly, especially when you're down by the amount that Georgia Tech's down by right now. Every possession is important.
Yeah, there's no 22-point play in Nell Fortner's playbook, but can't just serve it right back to the Irish. Notre Dame on a scoring drought of 2:22. Come up on the 2-minute mark of the first half, and they throw away the inbounds. Morgan fends off the Hidalgo steal. Noeto the 3 all the way around. No. Rebound pulled down by the Irish.
Yeah, I think Morgan was anticipating that Hidalgo was going to go for that one.
Oh, the look away pass, Watson off the feed from Hidalgo.
And she can dish it too. You know, we were talking with Coach Ivey earlier about Olivia Miles and how she can distribute the basketball, but Hannah Hidalgo, she can do it too.
Another steal in the passing lane, racing down floor on Morgan, and 1. She leads the nation in steals for a reason. The anticipation on the weak side, Haley, set that one up.
Yeah, I mean, she's just anticipating every single pass, just the rhythm of the dribbles. It's really amazing to see. Her eyes are always on the ball following it, and her speed taking off in the open court, you're not catching her.
No, she's fast.
Yeah.
And against Toni Morgan, who is one of the fastest guards in the ACC, and like for a freshman in Hidalgo, that body control was amazing, and she was able to get the and 1.
That was finishing with contact. Gives Hidalgo 15. UConn game where she dropped 34 in the Huskies' heads. Notre Dame's single-game freshman scoring record. Also the first Notre Dame player with a 30-point, 10-rebound, 5-assist game since 2000. Gets another swipe. The bounce to DeWalt. She got a block, though, by Morgan.
I mean, first of all, I don't even know how Hidalgo got that steal. She just ripped it when they were trying to make the pass. It was incredible. And you see Johnson about to pass it. She's like, nah, I got it. Let me take that.
Marshall turns the corner on Thomas Harris. Can't roll it in. Ivey thought there was a foul. Back comes Georgia Tech. That is 4 first-half steals, by the way, for Hidalgo. Here's Dunn. She's been quiet in this first half. Johnson, offensive rebound. Georgia Tech will reload. Kara Dunn, only 1 of 7 from the floor, Georgia Tech's leading scorer.
Yeah, she's struggling, and it's been solid defense, team defense by Notre Dame against her.
Morgan can't connect on that 3, and it cascades out to the Irish. And what do you say to a point guard that knows they're going against Hannah Hidalgo?
Yeah,
because you're constantly having to look over your shoulder.
You are. I think it's really, you have to really focus on making the easy plays this game. I think in other games, Toni Morgan can take more risks. She can try to thread the needle more often. But with this type of pace, on top of having a defender like Hidalgo on you all the time, you have to try to make the easy plays. Don't be flashy with it. Play with the fundamentals and just get your team in the right positions to score.
Just hit those singles. So we come into the final 30 seconds of this first half. 44-17 Irish. Morgan dancing with it. Shot clock at 5. The skip, Nueto got the step in. Short, trying to chase after it. Hidalgo the board. 3 seconds. Turns on the Jets. Hidalgo trying to split 2, flips it up and scores to beat the Horn. Just too quick with it. 5 from Toni Morgan. Kara Dunn was bottled up in that first half. Just 1 of 8 from the floor and missed all 4 of her 3-point attempts. As Nueto gets bumped on the baseline. Foul on the Irish. They'll tag Watson for her second. And Hannah Hidalgo, you see there, Haley, outscoring Georgia Tech by herself in that first half. She's awfully hard to keep quick feet in front of.
She is. I mean, she is so fast. But I think on top of that, she's the skills to back up that speed. I think a lot of times speed will outwork skill when they're just moving too fast. But she's got it all in a package, already so young. So I'm excited to see her continued growth.
Push off on Augusta Naita on the dribble drive, and that's a quick third on the freshman Rusna Augusta Naita. I know that you won't have to deal with number 3 there for another few years in the W, but when you watch Hannah Hidalgo, Haley, do you see a certain player comp, somebody you played against your rookie season with the Dream?
Yeah, I think players that I played against already, I would say somebody similar to a Jordan Canada, just because of her defensive prowess. But, I mean, honestly, I think you can compare it to a Fighting Irish all-time great of Skylar Diggins. I mean, she's got the defense. Her offense is off the charts already, scoring from all 3 levels. So I think you can compare it to Skylar Diggins already.
Yeah,
Skylar Diggins-Smith, who previously held the Notre Dame single-season freshman steals record until Hannah Hidalgo surpassed her.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison, Haley.
And of course, you might have missed the news earlier today. Skylar Diggins-Smith signing with the Seattle Storm. She'll be reunited with Jewel Lloyd, former Fighting Irish up there.
Yeah, some major moves in WNBA free agency today.
Huge moves. It was like my Twitter was blowing up every other minute of a new huge trade. That was like a blockbuster move.
Said was blowing. It probably still is blowing.
Still is.
See what new teammates you might have.
Oh yeah.
Your second season with the Dream.
We're looking good.
There's the Hidalgo off the reset, and she throws it away.
Yeah,
left her feet, didn't know what to do with it.
She did. It left her hand, and she wanted to bring it right back as soon as it left.
Drive and dish. Nueto off the mark. Rebound Watson. Kylee Watson approaching a double-double. That gives her 11 points, 7 rebounds. Her first career double-double, like we noted, was against Georgia Tech. As that's roped over to Citron. And tap last by DeWolf for the Irish. If there is one blemish offensively to Notre Dame, it might be from deep. They're just 3 of 15 from 3, but some of these looks, you can't fault the openness and the availability of the looks.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Notre Dame's taking a lot of the right shots on offense. Here and there, you're going to have some rush shots, possessions you want to take back, but I think they're really finding their people in their right places so far.
Meanwhile, Georgia Tech just can't buy a 3, makes them 3 of 19. Opening minutes of our second half.
And another thing you hadn't seen, Georgia Tech hasn't gotten to the free throw line. It's no attacking to get to the paint because the 3's not falling. You got to figure something out.
Now Watson continuing to attack. The junior from Linwood, New Jersey, makes it 48-19 Notre Dame.
Cover. Yep, good.
Yeah, they got to do more than just passing in this zone, and Notre Dame's just staying with it because it's working.
DeWolf over the shoulder, off the feed from Hidalgo, and that is textbook.
And that's special. 2 small guards on the floor. Hidalgo throws a nice dime, lob, baseball pass, and DeWolf is able to finish at the rim.
Sam Hartman-esque. Anna Hidalgo. 3 minutes gone by. Here's Morgan hanging, can't finish. Tapped alive, controlled by Dunn. Trying to get it up. She is stuffed, but a foul called. Now it looks like Georgia Tech will finally approach the free throw line.
Yeah, that was good hustle by Dunn to get that offensive board and work. But you just see this nice lob pass, baseball pass by Hidalgo straight to DeWolf with 3 Tech defenders trailing her, and she's able to catch and finish.
They assigned the steal to Watson, but then, of course, it landed in Hidalgo's hands and said, I'll take it from here.
Yeah, I got you.
Here Dunn, it has been a tough night for Georgia Tech sophomore, who will be in contention for ACC Most Improved Player. 15.7 points per game, that's 9th in the ACC. Had a 39-point game earlier this year versus Georgia State. And as you know, Haley, and I'm sure you experienced this from your days in Stanford, there is an adjustment that needs to be made when you're climbing up the opponent's scouting report and they're starting to key in on you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, as she's going to continue to get better and better, opponents have to take watch of that. So she's going to be starred on every single scouting report. So you got to start going to that second, third option in your bag. It can't always be your go-to move because that's how they're going to scout you. So I think as she continues to develop, she's going to have to think about how she's being scouted and how to make those adjustments.
Meanwhile, Hidalgo threads the needle to Watson.
That was a dime. And Watson was able to finish at the rim, but that's what we've been seeing from Hidalgo all night. She's not only getting her buckets, but has been setting up her teammates.
Those pocket passes are
Ridiculous.
on a rope, yeah. Good ball rotation leads to an Augusta Knight to 3. Had a good look. Out of bounds, goes to Notre Dame. And again, that's a shot that doesn't go down, Haley, but Nell Fortner will watch that back and know that her team made the right reads, made the right passes to get into that good look.
Yeah, I think that's one of the possessions where you saw more movement for Georgia Tech. I think a lot of times, you know, they're getting open shots, but it's not out of any movement. There's no flow. So I think Georgia Tech needs to keep moving the ball and really attacking that paint to get more open kickouts.
High low thrown away by the Irish. Augusta Knight looking in low for Blackshear.
And Blackshear was open.
Yeah. Sydney Johnson on the floor. Snaps it across to Noero. Her pass to the foul line was chopped away. Noero retrieves. Now Augusta Knight draws the foul. We'll tag Bransford for that. KK Bransford, the sophomore from Cincinnati. It's her second, first of the quarter against the Irish. Bransford was one of those contributors in the win over UConn, and when we talked with Niele Ivey, she really praised the defensive presence that she gave against the Huskies. Had no points, but she had a plus 25, plus minus, which led all Irish players.
Yeah, Bransford, she is a talent, and she's a good defender and can score the basketball too, but just does the intangibles. She doesn't have to score the ball to be relevant or to be credible on the court.
Running one-hander by Hidalgo, halfway down and pops out. Blackshear clears the board. Kayla Blackshear, who missed that Florida State game with a lower leg injury. You wonder what could have been in that game Sunday versus the number 23 Seminoles had Nell Fortner had her senior from Orlando. Leading third quarter by 8 points against Florida State. They had the Seminoles teetering, but just couldn't get buckets down the stretch. They were begging for some easy ones. They were late against Florida State. That's where Kayla Blackshear could have come in handy. Hidalgo off the bounce, off the glass.
Yeah, that's a tough finish.
Yes.
That takes a lot of touch. She wrapped around her defender who had more length than her. It just shows a lot of skill at a very young age.
Yeah, she does not play like a rookie.
Here's Dunn for 3, good. Kara Dunn had been looking for that all night long. Her first made 3 in 5 attempts. Only Georgia Tech's 4th of the game. Branford drives into traffic, recovered by the Irish. Notre Dame humming along at 48% from the field. They're one of the best shooting teams in America. Away from South Bend, 49% from the field in true road games.
Yeah, and it's because they get good looks. We know they're struggling from the 3 tonight, but the points in the paint have been incredible for them to this evening, and they've been dominant. They have 38 points in the paint.
That gives Watson 17, and the travel on Blackshear. Takes us to timeout. It was all Irish at halftime. It remains all Irish in the third quarter, behind 20 from Hidalgo and 7 assists. Irish on top by 32. From Linwood, New Jersey, she's been a presence tonight.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a presence. I think that coming off last game, going scoreless, she came out with more of an aggressive mentality tonight, and we can really see that. She's setting screens, which is getting herself open. She's finishing around the rim. She's doing a lot for her team tonight.
Soft hands catching that lob over the top of Noguero. Some of the short rolls as well from Hidalgo. And it's still 3:47 remaining in the third quarter. Kylee Watson has a season high. Her previous was 14 versus Lafayette. Her career high was 21 a couple of years back versus McNeese State. The Wolf skipping with it, lost the handle. Again, Johnson hounded by Hidalgo, pokes it from behind, another steal in the open floor. Hidalgo with 2 more.
Man, she has that down pat. As soon as you turn, she's gonna come from behind and rip that ball, and close to doing it again.
It's a 5th steal for Hidalgo, matching her season average. Of course, set the school record earlier this year with a dozen steals. I guess another Institute of Technology, NJIT. 3 straight but strong from Aviance Carter, in for the first time for Nell Fortner. Hidalgo got the blow by, and another and one for Hannah Hidalgo. She is just putting a master class together here at McCamish, Haley.
Yeah, they're just not finding an answer for her tonight. Whether it's one-on-one, whether it's off an on-ball screen, they just can't find an answer. She's hit him with a stop and go maybe 2 or 3 times, and it's worked every single time to get her to the rim.
Yeah. It's just no communication. No one called up that screen for Sydney Johnson. So Hidalgo did what she's supposed to do. Ran her defender into the screen and had a wide open lane, and no rotation by Georgia Tech defensively.
Yeah, that was not the resistance that Georgia Tech needed in that situation. Free throw spills off. Rebound tugged down by the Yellow Jackets and Thomas Harris. Hidalgo has matched her season average. She's got 24. In the hip pocket of Augusta Naita. Now an 18th 20-point game of the season for Hannah Hidalgo, who's named the Tamika Catchings National Freshman of the Week on Monday. Roped across, Augusta Naita overcooks the 3. And foul called on Aviance Carter, 3rd of the quarter, 1st of the game against Aviance Carter. You know, there are some nights, Haley, it's just hard to find your rhythm as an offense. And that seems to be the case for Tech tonight.
I think Georgia Tech is having one of those nights. They haven't found an answer against that zone in that first quarter, and since then there's been no rhythm gained at all. They weren't attacking the rim. They're relying on the 3-point shot, which is one of the best things that they do, but when it's not falling, you've got to find another answer, and I don't think they found that tonight.
Hidalgo with a hezzy, the step back on the window.
Oh, wow.
That one you might be seeing a little more of.
Oh, yeah. We'll see that on Twitter and IG later tonight, everywhere.
Yeah, that'll be something on the highlights.
There might be some notifications getting turned on as Carter is tripped.
But she has that ball on the string. Hidalgo does, and she can do pretty much anything she wants with it. And Georgia Tech just not has been able to find the answer. And defensively, Laredo is solid defense. She's staying in front of her, but she just hit her with a nice cross step back, and it was nothing but net.
Yeah, that's good D. Just better row at that point in time. Those are
Yeah.
those frustrating ones as a defensive player.
And Noguero, like you said, is a really gutsy defender. Great at taking charges. How about that flip by Aviance Carter? Snaps the 8-0 Notre Dame run. Hidalgo trying to play pick and roll. Lobs down Westbell, clearing space on Noguero. Got the mismatch and got the finish.
Yeah, Westbell's just too strong and, you know, too smart. She's going to get that matchup and score in the paint every time.
Andy Westbell, second team All ACC a year ago. And a foul called on Marshall, trying to poke it free on the entry. And that'll send Georgia Tech to the free throw line with 1:07 remaining in the quarter.
Well, I think Coach Ivey said it, you know, when Notre Dame had the tough home loss to Syracuse and then had to jump right back in and play a road game against UConn. And something just clicked, and you're still seeing it this evening. They're just clicking on all cylinders, and I think this is a totally different team than what we were seeing maybe a week ago.
You can tell this was not a team that wanted to be complacent when they took the floor tonight, Haley, and certainly bodes well for what the back half of the ACC schedule can hold for Notre Dame. They're still just 5-3 in the ACC, in 6th position, but they are not playing like a team that may stay in 6th place for long. Here's a 3 by DeWolf. Leaves it short. Hidalgo the rebound. Back up with it. Boarded by Thomas Harris. Under a minute, 3rd quarter. Morgan gets free. Oh, tough angle.
And she kind of pushes Citron off of her, but, you know, she's a strong finisher. When she's capable of finishing at the rim, she can attack.
Hidalgo from deep.
And then she gives Laredo a look like, yeah, you can try and guard me, but it's going to be money at the top of the key.
Sometimes when you lay underneath that screen, the guards kind of take it personal, Haley.
Yeah, no, it's as you should, as you should. But, I mean, I think what we saw from Toni Morgan last possession, get into the rim, just playing bully ball as a guard with her strong frame, that's what she needs to keep doing down the stretch in this game.
Yeah, force that one up, though. And Notre Dame has possession for the final 7.5 seconds. Toni Morgan does lead Tech tonight with 9, but on 4 of 10 shooting. Hidalgo racing in the stare down with Nueto. Loads up a screen from Marshall, rejects it, penetrates, whips it over to DeWolf, but she can't pull the trigger in time. In 1995-96, was the head coach of Team USA, which ultimately won a gold medal here in Atlanta, and one of her assistants during that 1995-96 year, Georgia Tech head coach Nell Fortner, who of course succeeded her as Team USA head coach. Deep catch by Watson, shovels to Citron, fit on the lane.
Watson has been rebounding, scoring, now she's dishing it. So she can do it from all over the court, and she is really giving Notre Dame a fantastic post presence tonight.
If you can get a version of this Kylee Watson on a more consistent basis,
then that's going to be trouble for the ACC and the country.
Blackshear heavy from the mid-range, races down, gets her own miss. Carter lets it fly. That misses everything. Hidalgo, open floor, 2 more, and give Hannah Hidalgo 31. That is 3 straight 30-point scoring games for Hannah Hidalgo.
It's been pretty easy. A lot of them have been layups, you know, where she just gets in the flow or off of steals. It's pretty incredible to see how easily she can score the basketball.
A lot of contact on that take by Harris, Thomas Harris, but the offensive rebound from Blackshear, and she'll go to the line.
Yeah, and Thomas Harris has taken a couple of hard falls tonight. Early in the game, she was holding her hip, and then that last fall right there.
I want to get back to something that Nell Fortner told us after Georgia Tech shoot-around, and hey, you can probably corroborate this. I asked Nell to give us her perspective on Tara. What makes her the winningest all-time head coach? And she said there's no gray area with Tara.
Yeah.
How did you see that play out as a player for her?
Oh, Nell's completely right. I mean, there's one right way, and you're doing it or you're on the bench. And so I think that's what keeps her team so good year in and year out, is that you strive to be out there playing because you love the game so much. And so you're held to a standard, and if you're not there, then you're not going to get what you want to get out of it. So I think that's what makes Tara's team so great every year, is the players that she brings in. She knows how to recruit, and we come in and we want to work.
You were telling us her shoot-arounds. I mean, that's not a laissez-faire
oh my gosh.
hour there on the floor.
No, our shoot-arounds were our 3-hour practices into 1. And so we come out sweating. We are on the move. You need a shower after that thing.
You said what? You got 2 layups with the right hand, 2 layups with the left hand, and then it was full go.
Oh, you know. You walk in, it's 2 right, 2 left, and then maybe 2 down the middle, and you're out of there. It's go time. Right into scout. So it's quite a thing.
75-32 Irish on top after the finish by Watson. Blackshear sets up Dunn, passes on the 3. Nueto instead, no good. Scrap for the tap, and controlled by Blackshear. Able to save it to Dunn. Finds Nueto filling the lane. She'll bank it home for 2 and a foul.
And that's good to see Georgia Tech still being active. It's in the fourth, and, you know, they're down by a lot, but trying to figure something out. You know, when you have a team that's continuing to play and fight, I think that's something that's important for Coach Ford and the squad. And you see right here, Laredo drives to the lane and gets the and one finish high off the glass, and hopefully maybe this can wake Georgia Tech up a little bit.
And Laredo just their second field goal in 12 attempts after 13 versus Florida State. Georgia Tech gets another possession.
Yeah, one thing Georgia Tech has been consistently doing tonight is crashing the glass. I think they've gotten a lot of second chance opportunities for their team, which it gives you energy getting to no board. So that's great that they're still pushing for that.
They have always been a good guard rebounding team. The ball fake, the three by Morgan. Can rack that up from the wing. Rebound by Westfeld. Notre Dame out rebounded UConn plus 10 in that win in Stores, which snapped the Huskies' 13-game win streak. Last to flex off of Augusta Naita into Demetra. Fallon Stokes, Haley Jones with you in Atlanta. Coming off your rookie season with the Atlanta Dream, but you got some family from the state of Georgia, you told me.
I sure do. I got all of my mom's side is here from Georgia. Well, most of them. So yeah, definitely back here in the roots. When I got drafted, my mom said we're going home. So it's nice to have some loving out here in Georgia.
Said your mom is from little Riceboro, Georgia.
She is. Shout out Riceboro. I know she's listening right now, and she is smiling at home.
Riceboro, Georgia. Don't sleep on Riceboro now. They can produce some talent. Not just Haley Jones, but also your cousin, Alicia Milton Jones, longtime WNBA player and now head coach of Old Dominion, who won a gold medal in the 2000 Olympics with a head coach named Nell Fordner. Here's a three by Dunn. That's good.
Yeah, that's good to see one go down for her. She's been having a tough shooting night, but she's sticking with it.
This is one of those quarters where Georgia Tech, this is almost the first quarter of their game Sunday versus Wake Forest. What can you build? What can you start to develop to seize some confidence back and carry with you to the road where it's never easy no matter what the opponent you're facing?
Well, yeah, I know maybe that zone won't be the same with Wake. Nice back door, but they're definitely going to work on the zone and trying to score in the zone. That's going to be intentional. If Wake Forest sees this game footage, they're going to be intentional and play Tech in a zone on Sunday.
Hidalgo now with 33 points to go along with her 8 assists. Up in the chest of Morgan, and a foul called on Hidalgo. That is her second of the night, team's third of the quarter with 6:07 to play.
I mean, she just frustrates you. You see Tony Morgan obviously frustrated, gets that foul call, but Hidalgo is just going to continue to attack, and I hadn't seen her tired. Like, that's pretty amazing for a freshman. She has a high motor, high energy, and she's the leader of this Irish squad, and they follow that lead with her defensive tenacity.
Jackers looking for a backdoor thrown away. Right idea, but tough angle there from Blackshear. That's Georgia Tech's 15th turnover of the night. So as you're looking at this Notre Dame team, Haley, and you know what it takes to reach a Final Four and win a Final Four, like you did at Stanford. Even though Notre Dame is playing without Olivia Miles, who is likely a preseason All-American, they've still got talent to go deep in March. What is it about this Notre Dame team, its roster? You take a look at Miles there, and it was announced Saturday she will indeed miss the remainder of the season, rehabbing from that knee injury she suffered in the regular season finale last year. But what is this about Notre Dame that makes them a team to be reckoned with in March?
Yeah, I think what makes this Notre Dame team so special is, one, they have a lot of different weapons on this team. You can see tonight, Kylee Watson didn't have the best game against UConn. They still found a way to pull out a gritty win. And tonight, now she's having a great game, and everybody around her is now matching that energy. So I think Notre Dame has a great amount of team chemistry, and every player that they have has bought into their role. Nobody's trying to play outside themselves. You feel like KK Bransford and Nat Marshall coming in, and then they know what to do. They're high-impact players. They come in with a lot of energy. So I think for them to continue to peak like they are now, moving into the rest of the March season, it'll be exciting to watch them.
Projected right now as a number 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, even though their net ranking is in the top 10. If I were an 11 seed or a 3 seed in the second round, I'm not sure.
No way they're a 6 seed.
Natalia Marshall goes to the line. The foul was on Kayla Blackshear. Marshall, the senior from Queens, New York, prepped at Powerhouse Christ the King High School, which has produced a couple of players that you've gone up against in the WNBA. Tina Charles, Sue Bird, Jamaica Holdsclaw back in the day. And Georgia Tech fans may know that as the alma mater of a legendary point guard in their own right on the men's side with the New Orleans Pelicans, Jose Alvarado.
You know, that school has definitely produced some talent over the years. But when you talk about Coach Ivey, you know, the ACC Coach of the Year last season and what, you know, they were able to do in winning the ACC regular season. But Hidalgo just set a new career high with 35.
And fittingly enough, it comes off a steal. 35 points, 15 of 24 from the floor. 8 assists, and the steals continue to pile up.
Well, I just think it's just incredible what Coach Ivey's been able to do, especially with the injuries, to continue to be competitive and build a roster that can compete for, you know, a long road in March when it comes tournament time, because this team has the makeup to go far in March.
Meanwhile, Kira Dunn up to 14 points, starting to find her stroke from outside, collapsing in the low post on Watson. Steps through it, but throws it into the hands of Noeto. Noeto up court, snatched by Bransford. Bransford down the lane on Augusta Knight, hopscotching through, misses though. Rebounded by Notre Dame. Euro stepping the European there. And Augusta Knight, Hidalgo slashing, no good. And this time the rebound secured by Morgan. Pull up three, Augusta Knight. Dunn wins the miss. And Georgia Tech will settle things down. You know, when you're facing 3 consecutive ranked opponents found like Georgia Tech is in the midst of, Virginia Tech and Blacksburg, then that missed opportunity versus Florida State, that 3rd straight ranked opponent you're facing, sometimes emotionally, if you don't have a solid start, you kind of hit that trap door or find quicksand offensively. That may have been the case for Georgia Tech tonight.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough road in the last 3 games for Georgia Tech. But again, just like Coach Fortner said earlier, at home you have to try and take advantage of these opportunities. And tonight just wasn't a great showing for Georgia Tech. But hopefully they can build off of this loss 3 in a row and do something on Sunday against Wake.
Yeah, tried to dust themselves off on the road as Nell Fortner calls time with 3:16 remaining. Career high 35 from Hannah Hidalgo. You already knew the name, but put it in all caps. Irish up big. Here's what we were talking about with Notre Dame's tournament resume entering the final full month of the regular season. Net of 10, but Charlie Cream projects them as a 6th seed right now. Earned a big resume builder with that road win over UConn. They've got some opportunities to burnish the resume here in the final month. They still play Louisville twice. They get Virginia Tech and North Carolina State at home. But when you can get 35 and 8 assists and 6 steals, Haley, from Hannah Hidalgo, you feel pretty good about their prospects over this final month.
Yeah, hey, you feel better than good. You feel great. I mean, this is a great road win for them to get, especially after having such a big outing at UConn. So they're just going to keep carrying this momentum in the second half of ACC play. They're looking good.
Nifty pick and give and go between Termes and Dunn. Give Kara Dunn 16 points, equaling her season average.
Yeah, Termes, she's a good passer. Even for her size at 6'6", she can see over most of her defenders, but I like how she can distribute the basketball.
Bennett topples over Kara Dunn. They'll get called for a travel. It'll be Georgia Tech ball as Hidalgo comes out for the final time. And another virtuoso stat line for the freshman. 35 points, 8 assists, 6 steals, and a timeout. Our final one of the ball game.
Your record label is taking off.
81-43, they head home to South Bend on Sunday to take on Pittsburgh. But Haley and Fallon, you see that schedule gets tricky quick. Consecutive road games against Louisville and a Florida State team that just this week dropped out of the rankings. When that matchup in South Bend against North Carolina State, that'll be worth the price of admission.
Yeah, that's going to be a big-time ball game, and it just tells you how tough the ACC is. It's so competitive already. 9 teams from the ACC in the top 50 in the net, and that just speaks volumes of how night in, night out you have to be ready because any team can beat you.
6 teams currently ranked in the top 25. As Augusta Knight is off the mark, Georgia Tech will try to shake itself off I guess winless Wake Forest on Sunday, then up to the Dome to take on Syracuse. Boy, you don't need to tell the Irish about the kind of firepower that the Orange possess because they beat Notre Dame twice.
Yeah, they have. The Asia Fair is a problem.
Oh, yeah, she's
a walking
tough
bucket.
Guard. She's a tough guard for anybody.
Feel like she might be in some of your scouting reports there
Coming up
before
pretty
long,
soon.
Haley. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I remember we played her when she was at Buffalo, my freshman year.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, we were the same class, so we were like, okay, watch out for her. Circled on this scout. Still gave buckets, but, yeah, she's tough. She can score from all 3 levels.
Yeah, no, she has. Even since she made the transfer from Buffalo to Syracuse, she's still clicking on all cylinders.
She almost became a better scorer.
She has. I think she has.
Lob in low, and Obinna finishes. Obinna, the grad transfer by way of TCU. Also, Sarah Cernugal has come in, put on scholarship this year. In for Hidalgo as Termes got blocked from behind on the stick back. And I bring up Sarah Cernugal because she is a native of Westmont, Illinois, and a graduate of Hinsdale Central High School, which happened to be my alma mater way back in the olden days.
Yeah, shout yourself out, Andy.
Well, you know, that's where I had my first play-by-play broadcast with a student radio station there. The signal probably did not stretch past the parking lot, but I caught the bug. And I'm sure Sarah Cernugal is on to a much more lucrative endeavor coming out of Hinsdale Central High School. Georgia Tech will go to the line and done here in the final minute 28. Haley, getting ready for year 2 for you with the Atlanta Dream. What was the biggest takeaway from your rookie season? WNBA All-Rookie, we might add, for Atlanta. And what can fans expect from year 2 out of you?
I mean, shoot, hopefully a lot of improvement. I think rookie season, it's a awakening for sure. It's just like that high school to college jump. It's a lot different. I mean, women have been in the league for a long time. They're more efficient. They just know how to do things. So, I mean, second year, we're extending the range. We're working on our ball handling, playing that point guard position. So
love it.
I'm excited. I think we're going to have a lot better season. I mean, last year was great with our young core already.
You picked up a new low post presence, somebody we had mentioned earlier this quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Charles.
We picked up a few already. Tina Charles, Jordan Canada, Ariel Powers. We're building off an already great core. So
now that's why you compared Hannah Hidalgo to Jordan Canada. You're trying to make nice with your new teammate.
I mean, you're picking up on it. Yeah.
Who says that a Bruin and a Cardinal can't get along?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be Pac-12, back to pack always.
Well, I tell you, going to Dream games is always a fun atmosphere.
It's a party.
It's a party. I have a good time.
It's a party.
Got to make it a little less festive for the opponents this year. As we come up on 1 minute in this ball game. Dunn with the extra pass, Augusta Naita. That is a good one more. And Augusta Naita rains down the 3. That's turning down a good for a great shot. Augusta Naita has 6 points and the first bucket for the Yellow Jackets. And the Yellow Ivy sees Bransford marooned, calls a 30-second timeout. Of course, your season high, if I'm not mistaken, was against Las Vegas, WNBA champions.
Yeah, that was a great game.
You did what you could against Asia Wilson that night.
Yep. You know, she's a bucket as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to guard. You got to make it tough. But yeah, that was a pretty good night.
Asia Wilson tied the WNBA scoring record that night.
Oh, yeah. I know all too well.
Oh, yeah.
Asia Wilson's pretty incredible.
She gives buckets to a lot of people.
Does, and wins championships.
Spares no one.
But I know, like, watching a game tonight and you have a Hannah Hidalgo and just, like, seeing the growth of women's basketball, you know, whether it's on the college level in the WNBA, it's very promising. And I think the future's so bright for so many women moving on to the league.
Getting some advanced scouting in tonight, Haley.
Oh, for sure. But I think, Fallon, you're completely right. With the expansion of the league coming this year and more in years to come, it's really showing how much the game is growing. You need more roster spots because of all of this young talent coming into play.
Yeah, I agree.
Picking up an expansion franchise in your native Bay Area. That'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah. Coming to the Bay. They need it.
Of course, we still hope that you'll be in Atlanta for a long
I
time.
know, right? Don't leave us.
resist-
Don't leave us yet.
Selfishly,
Resist
yeah.
that siren song of the hometown. You said you got family in Riceboro, so this is home too now.
Yeah, we got ties here too.
It's been a lot of fun having you jump on with us. Hope this has been an enjoyable debut in the color analyst chair.
Oh yeah, it's been a great time. You two were amazing,
Yeah.
amazing in the first time out. Thank you.
I say let's make this just an off-season endeavor only, and you got a lot of years left of professional basketball in you.
Oh yeah.
But like we said, can't wait to watch your sophomore season just down the road.
I'm ready to get to it. This off season is long. This is
yeah.
a long off season. I'm ready for it.
You kind of earned the break going from finishing your season with Stanford, then straight into the WNBA.
yeah.
I mean, you guys are playing competitive ball for seems like 9 months.
Oh yeah, it felt like it.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
That piano jumped on your back.
Oh yeah.
Piano was on the back of the Yellow Jackets tonight as Neil Ivy's club comes into Atlanta and will walk away with an 85-48 win, following up that impressive showing in Stores with another resounding road win